guys? Welcome to the MMA Edge podcast for UFC 206 this weekend. I'm here with Ashley Smashley Cummins. She's a atomweight fighter now. From Tough Season. What season of Tough was that?
23.
Tough Season 23. Who were the coaches?
It was Claudia and the champ,
Team
Joanna.
Claudia and Joanna Champion. I hate saying her last name. Jake. Today we're going to be going over the fights this weekend, of course, from a DraftKings perspective. We're going to be breaking it down from the prelims to the main card. I'm your host, LeRod Steppen, not Leroy Steppen. It's LeRod Steppen. For everybody that's wondering, don't butcher my name. It's French for King Steppen, because I speak almost fluent French. Ashley, do you have a fight coming up anytime soon?
Nothing scheduled yet, but I'm looking to hopefully fight in March of 2017.
Okay. And in what organization are you looking to fight in?
I'm trying to get back to Invicta, so I'm in talks with Invicta right now. I've had 4 fights with them in the past, and I'm looking to get back there at the atomweight. So hopefully that happens soon.
I've got a question for you. You're a police officer, right? And then you're training. So do you have any aspirations of one day becoming a full-time fighter, possibly?
I've thought about it in the past. I know like most pro fighters don't have a full-time job like me. So, sometimes I wonder like what if I didn't have a full-time job, maybe I'd already be in the UFC right now, as I'd be able to put more time in the training. But, at the end of the day, I'm very passionate about, law enforcement. I'm very passionate about MMA. So, I feel blessed that I get to do both my passions in life. And, maybe someday I'd be able to make enough money fighting to support myself where I wouldn't have to be a police officer. But, even the UFC fighters, it doesn't look like, I look at their pay scales and it'd be kind of hard to live off of what some of them make, unless you're a big name. And, I mean, the odds of me having, being able to quit my, full-time job and focus on MMA is probably pretty slim. But you never know what the future holds.
Okay, so that's an interesting perspective. So you don't think that the strawweight / atomweight division is really rich enough right now in fighter pay, even at the top, in order for this to be a full-time option right now? I never heard that angle before. That's a good angle. That's a good point.
I mean, if you look at the pay scales, even like the females in the UFC, they'll only fight like maybe twice a year, and they'll get 8 and 8 and 10 and 10. I mean, you can't live off of that.
Even the top 10 fighters, I know Joanna Champion should be getting paid, but everybody else is doing like 20 and 20.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting a little more, but I mean, look at how much they'll fight like twice a year, and that's it. I mean, unless you're getting that like 50,000 bonus at the end, for fight of the night or something. I mean, you can't live off of it.
And rarely is that going to happen because strawweight fights usually don't end in knockouts or anything
like
that.
Exactly. So.
Oh, okay. So I never thought about that. So let's get right off into the card. We've got a fight, first of all, that I'm not very excited about. It's Zach Makovsky, well, at least from a DraftKings perspective, versus Dustin Ortiz at 125 pounds. I feel like this is a fight between two wrestlers. I feel like fights between wrestlers usually deteriorate into striking battles so oftentimes. Zach Makovsky seems a little too rich for my blood. I like other fighters like Max Holloway, Duhoy Choi. I like a lot of stuff at the top here, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get to Makovsky. Ortiz seems more plausible, but I think Makovsky has the striking advantage of the two. Ashley, do you think that in a matchup of two grapplers, what do you think the chances of this deteriorating into a striking match are? Do you think that's a pretty good option? Or do you think that either of these fighters is a good enough grappler to possibly take over? What do you think?
I've actually trained with Zach Makovsky in the past, so I don't really know too much about the other guy, but Zach is known for his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu. He trains out of Marcelo's gym in New York, and he trains out of MMA gym in Philadelphia. But I think people look past his striking. He actually is a great striker. He trains out of Crew Phil's gym in New York, and that's one of the top Muay Thai gyms in the
Crewfield Nurse,
U.S. So,
who
yeah,
trained GSP. Okay, so Zach
that's where
McCoskey.
Zach trains his Muay Thai.
Okay, yeah, Dustin Ortiz is a guy. I think that he thrives when he's able to out grapple people. But if he can't get his grappling going, and Zach McCoskey, was he a Division I wrestler if I'm not mistaken?
I believe he was, yes.
Okay, yeah. And this just doesn't seem to fight like the type of fight where Ortiz is going to be able to get his wrestling going. Zach McCoskey, there's a good chance that he's my pick to win the fight, but I don't know how much I'm going to own him this weekend at that price. I really don't like that price on him. I might try and get him in there, but yeah. I think this is going to be a striking heavy match with not a lot of takedowns, not a lot of scrambles, and that didn't mean a lot of fantasy points. I think Makovsky probably is going to have somewhere between 60 and 80 DraftKings points this weekend. That's not really what I'm looking for. I want the big finish. I want the big fireworks, and so I think I might play other fights outside of this. But yeah, Makovsky's my pick there. Next up, we've got Rustam Khabilov versus Jason Sago at 155 pounds. Khabilov is a typical Russian fighter, Sambo type background. He's got crisp striking. He's kind of low output. He lets people bring the fight to him sometimes. But in this matchup with Jason Sago, who thrives mostly as a grappler, he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that Khabilov has the big advantage. Khabilov has not been one to be taken down too many times recently. His takedown defense is, I don't have the exact fight metric stats in front of me, but it's pretty gosh darn good. He beat Chris Wade, who's a pretty good wrestler. I think this is his fight by a pretty good margin, but he's too expensive. That's just the bottom line. Rustam Gabilov, I don't know, I don't think it'd be a good idea for him to try takedowns against a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't think that's what the game plan should be. And he's $9,100, which makes him the second most expensive fighter on the weekend. And he's only going to get me 70 points. I don't like it. Actually, in a matchup against a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a pretty high-level black belt, Jason Sago, do you think do you think we're going to see too many takedown attempts from Khabilov this weekend?
No, I mean, if Kabi's smart, he'll keep it standing. I wouldn't if I was fighting a female that was a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'd keep it standing. I wouldn't want to go to the ground, with that kind of skill level. So, I mean, you're gonna see a striker versus grappler kind of match with that one.
Okay. So good. So yeah, Khabilov is a capable grappler too. Now he's pretty good at sambo. So he's got that. He's got good throws and everything. Good wrestling. Good takedown defense. I love these Dagestani and Russian fighters and what they're bringing. My pick is Khabilov, but I think I'm hitting the fade button on him. Jason Sago is getting better with his striking, and with how I don't see him winning this fight, though. Khabilov is the much better striker. I don't think I'll have much exposure to Sago. I don't think you should either. But let's get to our next fight. We've got Lando trapping out the Bando Venata versus John McDessie. Okay, Lando Venata trains out of Jackson's MMA down in New Mexico. John McDessie, he trains out of TriStar Gym up in Quebec with Faraz Zahabi and guys like that. This fight is hard for me to call. Lando Venata looked excellent, at least while he had gas. He came in on short notice, but while he had gas in there against Tony Ferguson, he was beating the sleeves off of Tony Ferguson. I know Ferguson has his defensive gaps and whatnot, but Tony Ferguson is a well-rounded and highly skilled fighter, and he beat the sleep. He had him finished. I mean, I think he woke him back up with a punch on the ground. That being said, striking is what John McDessie does best. John McDessie is one of the better strikers in this division. He took a loss to Donald Cerrone. He got grinded out by Alan Patrick. That's not something it used to be that McDessie had weaknesses with his takedown defense. I don't think that's anything anymore. But this is a toss-up fight that doesn't have a toss-up price. Lando Venata is much more expensive than John McDessie. He's $8,700 this weekend. John McDessie is going to come in at $7,500. And John McDessie, I'm going to favor him as the play because he's much cheaper and much more flexible in a very close fight. I don't know how much Lando Venata will have because I don't like the odds of this being a knockout. I think John McDessie is a very capable striker. Ashley, do you think? What do you think? Do you see a knockout here? Do you feel like in a matchup with two pretty good, solid technical strikers, we could see a finish? Or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a strong point. It's very likely, someone's going to catch the other one, and what I love about this matchup is they're both out of pretty much the two top gyms in the world, Jackson's MMA and TriStar. Those gyms are just so highly regarded in the MMA world. So, you know that they have a lot of good coaches in their corners and teammates backing them that's been helping them get ready for this fight. So, I mean, that's going to be an interesting fight to watch.
Yeah, and that's what makes me hesitate to think there will be a finish. But there's going to be all kinds of. From what I saw from Lando and that Tony Ferguson fight, he just brings it. He's got an unorthodox style. McDessie brings it. I don't like the chances of it going somebody going to sleep, but when you got two strikers like this, it is a good chance. So I want exposure to this fight, but Lando Venata feels a little too rich for my blood. If he wins, I think he only wins the decision. John McDessie is not one to get knocked out. I mean, Donald Cerrone broke his jaw. I think that's the only time he's ever been stopped by strikes, though. I'm looking at Tapology right now. Um, yeah. I think that's the only time he's tough as nails. So yeah, I'm going to favor McDessie this weekend as a play, but that's a fight that I think I want a piece of both guys in. Let's go to our next fight. It's Mitch Gagnon versus Matthew Lopez. And to be honest with you, I don't really know what to think of this fight. Mitch Gagnon, I don't think he's fought in about oh boy, I don't think that he's fought in a good while. It's been oh boy, it's been almost 2 years exactly. 12/20/2014. He lost to Henry Barral in a spirited effort. I believe he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a very capable grappler. But that's where Matthew Lopez is good as well. Ashley, how much do you think ring rust will play in here? Matthew Lopez has been very active, and I liked what I saw against him against a very capable grappler in Ronnie Yaya in his last fight. I don't think Mitch Gagnon is offering too much more than Yaya, and Yaya didn't just run over Lopez. Lopez held his own. So, when you've had that much time away from the octagon, what does that do to you? What effect does that have? Mitch Gagnon, he's got a favorites price on him this weekend at $806,000. Would you take a chance on rostering a fighter who hasn't seen the octagon in 2 years, especially grapple heavy?
Yeah, I mean, that's a long time. Some fighters believe in ring rust and some don't. I've gone periods where I've gone, a year without fighting and then I get back in the octagon and, I don't really feel like ring rust, I've had an issue with it, but I haven't been out 2 years. I mean, that's a lot longer than I've ever, taken between two fights. So, I mean, that very well could play a role, especially in the first round. It might take one round to like get in the swing of things, and then second round you see him kind of pick it up. So yeah, I mean that's very possible that could play a role in this fight.
And for a guy that's not known as being a technical striker as a grappler, and striking is all about timing. What was when you took that year off? What was the timing like on your strikes in that first round?
Yeah, I think more it wasn't like I think the first round I was fine with my timing and everything. I think it was just the mental. It was like, okay, it's been a while since, with the pressure and the lights and, everything that comes along with the stress of fighting. And, I just think once you get past the mental aspect, you can, it's easy to get in the swing of things once you're in the cage.
Okay, I think I'm picking Matthew Lopez. I thought he went against Yaya. His wrestling wasn't strong enough to survive that high level wrestling attack. But I like Lopez here. I'm going to do some more film review. I might change between here and Saturday, but as of Thursday night, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Matthew Lopez. So, I mean, I wish I could play this fight even. Mitch Gagnon, he's too expensive. I mean, if he's going to win, it's going to be a grapple, scramble heavy fight, and that's going to rack up the points. So maybe I'll have my exposure there. But I don't know what I'm doing with this fight at this point in time. Next fight up, we're going to have Valerie Letourneau versus Vivian Pereira. Vivian Pereira is making her promotional debut. Valerie Letourneau is a seasoned. And when I say I mean seasoned, salt, pepper, all kinds of spices. She's a seasoned veteran. She's been in there with the champion. She was a bantamweight at one time. Now she is a strawweight. I think Valley, from what I've seen from the film, Pereira is a kind of you never know what you're going to get from this Brazilian regional scene. Pereira is a fighter who she's not very good with her striking. She draws. Uh, she's seems like she's a capable wrestler in a way, but I don't think a capable enough wrestler to ground Valerie Letourneau. I think Valerie Letourneau runs all over Vivian Pereira and ends up being one of the best values on the board at just $8,400. What do you think about Valerie Letourneau in this spot against a rather green fighter who I personally don't think she should probably be in this spot? I don't think she should be in the UFC with her brawling, and she seems like a very low level fighter.
Yeah, I definitely give this fight to Valerie. Obviously the UFC is the goal of every fighter, and fortunately with the UFC, what I've noticed is some of the especially with me being a female and I used to fight at 115, that's what I follow, and some of the female fighters that they've signed I don't necessarily agree with. They have good records, but you have to look at who they fought. I
Exactly.
might not have the best record, compared to the other girls in the UFC. But if you look at who I fought Joanne Calderwood, I fought Alexa Grasso, I fought Emily Kagan, I fought some of the top fighters in the world at 115. And two of my fights were, when I fought Emily Kagan, I won that fight. I know I did. The judges screwed me over. The Alexa Grasso fight could have gone either way. I fought the best in the world, and they were close fights. Now, some of these girls might be 5-0, 6-0, but they've fought girls that weren't that good. So I think the UFC signs girls based on their record and not who they're fighting. So yeah, I mean, I would have to give this fight to Valerie for sure.
Okay, yeah. Vivian Pereira, that's a very good point. She is 13-0, but that Brazilian scene, am I right to say that it's not very? Is it very? Do you think it's very talented? Are you familiar with this concept that the Brazilian scene is might be a little overrated or a little a small pond?
I believe so. She's got a great record, but I guarantee the Brazilians that she's fought over in her country aren't at the same level as the Americans and the female MMA fighters over in the United States. So that plays a big role in people's records.
And this, I believe, is her first fight in the United States. She doesn't look like she's ready, especially for Valerie Letourneau. I
Yeah.
don't know if she's ready for too much of anybody in this strawweight division, which I think technically is better than the bantamweight division. I think this is a shine spot for Valerie Letourneau in her home country. I don't see why they put her in it. But stranger things have happened in the fight. I love Valerie Letourneau as a play. I don't won't have any Pereira, and if it burns me, it burns me. But that's what I see. I see a blowout. On to the next fight. We've got Olivier Aubin Mercier going up against Drew Dober. Oh, Drew Dober is the Drew Dober zone. Strange when Drew Dober fights, strange things occur. Ankles get broken, false taps happen. Drew Dober always has weird things happen in his fight. Olivia, Drew Dober is, how would I describe him? He's well rounded. He's a decent striker. He's a decent wrestler. He didn't do anything great. He's not a great athlete, but Drew Dober is a seasoned veteran. He's fought a lot of guys, a lot of high quality guys. Drew Dober is a very quality middle range fighter in the division. Olivier Aubin Mercier is one of the most promising youngsters in the division. He is very good, very strong with his grappling. Both of these fighters fought one Tony Sims. Olivia, I know MMA math doesn't matter, but Olivier Aubin Mercier was much more impressive in his fight against Sims than was Drew Dober. Dober doesn't have the best takedown defense in the world necessarily. It's good, not great. I'm picking these fighters are actually nearly even price, but I don't think this is an even fight. I think this is Olivier Aubin Mercier's fight. He's got great kicks. Drew Dober is actually like a kickboxer. Apparently, that's his background. You wouldn't necessarily think it when he fights because he grapples a lot. But if you're going to beat Aubin Mercier, you're going to have strong takedown defense, and then you go or some top level jiu-jitsu where he didn't want to go to the ground, which you like Carlos Diego Ferreira. That's where Aubin Mercier's was that his he's got 2 losses in the UFC, and both of them were to fighters that could stop his takedowns and then outstrike him or just outgrap him like Ferreira did. But I don't think Drew Dober can outgrapple him. He definitely can outstrike him, but it'll be so close that I think the grappling gives him the edge in the rounds. Ashley, what do you think in this fight? Well, who do you like more? Do you like the grappler, or do you like the kind of sort of in a way he's kind of a striker, Drew Dober? Who do you think takes it?
Yeah, I've actually trained with Judo Ober before. He used to come down to St. Louis years ago and cross train at the gyms in St. Louis at like Boggies and St. Charles MMA. So I've trained with him a couple times. I've watched him fight in person, a couple of his pro Muay Thai fights, and I think one of his MMA fights I saw in person. I'm gonna have to go with Dober just because, not necessarily because I've trained with him and I know him, but just I just know I've never met someone honestly that's just so gritty. Like he was down to fight any day of the week and he's just ready, and he's one of those grinders. Like I don't think he would ever break mentally. He's just the strongest willed fighter I've ever met, and I respect him a lot, and I'm gonna have to give it to Drew.
Okay, and so what do you think of his takedown defense from a technical analysis from watching him? Because if he can stop Aubin Mercier from taking him, I think I favor him in the striking area. Aubin Mercier is not really coming along that well in the striking. I mean, he's getting there, but his boxing leaves a lot to be desired. His kicks are all that's exceptional. Um, you're making me think this is a fight that I should play both fighters on separate entries now. I mean, I see the route to victory for Drew Dober. I just don't know if he can do it because I've seen him in there against Leandro Silva. He kind of got taken down pretty good. Um, and Aubin Mercier seems to be so strong and so powerful in spots where I think, oh, this guy, he's going to be able to stop his takedowns. He just can't. So, yeah, okay. As far as the play goes, I might have to just put in some Drew Dober this weekend. I don't think I'll be all in on Olivier Aubin Mercier, but this is a fight that's definitely appealing because if Aubin Mercier wins, he's going to have to get a million takedowns because Drew Dober is probably not one to be held down for the entirety of a round. He's capable enough in jiu-jitsu and wrestling where he can get back up and then get taken down again, and that's wonderful for DraftKings points because it's 5 points every single time. Drew Dober, if he wins this fight, there's a good chance he finishes. Olivier Aubin Mercier has holes in his striking game. Drew Dober has a good amount of power in his hands. He could finish the fight. But at his price of $8,000, I'll take, or is it $8,000? Yes, $8,000. I'll take whatever I can get from one Drew Dober this weekend. Oh man, I'm glad that you trained with him. I got some insight, man. You said you didn't know some of these fighters. You tell, you know everybody. Okay, on to the next fight. We've got Misha Serkinov versus Nikita. I believe it's the minor now. Yeah, it's the minor. It used to be Al Capone Krylov. Honestly, this is one of my Misha Serkinov is one of my favorite plays on the weekend. Nikita Krylov in this striker versus grappler match. Nikita Krylov is a karate-based striker, and he doesn't have a very good boxing game. Where he thrives is with his kicks, and going up against a grappler, usually strikers have to cut back on the kicks. Nikita Krylov's best weapons are his kicks, and And like in the last fight, if Ed Herman can catch your kicks and take you down, Misha Serkinov, master grappler, he's definitely going to catch a kick or get in on something and take you down. So Nikita Krylov, his losses in the UFC thus far, let me read them off to you, and then I want you guys out there in video land to tell me what you think. Soa Palele, Obed St. Preux by submission, Soa Palele by grounded pound, and that's it. But those are two people that beat him in the wrestling department. None of them are as good grapplers as Misha Serkinov. This is an even odds fight and an even price fight, but I think I'll tell you why. Nikita Krylov has been beating up cans. And even cans were able, well, not cans, but mid-carders. Nikita Krylov has been thriving on the bottom and eating off the bottom of the division now. I think he's talented, but he's got some very big holes in his game on the ground. And I think this is a fight that Misha Serkinov, with his improving striking, I was very impressed about what I saw in his fight with Ion Cutelaba. Misha Serkinov's striking has come along very quickly. His boxing is looking better and better, and it's hard to improve that striking. Grappling, you go in, you work hard to get better. Striking, you may just not have a talent for it. So Misha Serkinov is a guy I like. Ashley, what do you think of the matchup of a kick-heavy fighter versus a master grappler? What do you think how do you think that affects Nikita Krylov's offense in this spot and his potential output, which we need output to score points? He's not going to sub Misha. He's not going to take him down repeatedly. He's not going to do that. So he's going to have to outstrike him. And his best weapon is missing here. How's he going to score DraftKings points for us? And he doesn't have any kicks.
You know, kicking's dangerous in MMA. That's why, like, in all my fights, you'll never see me kick someone to the body. It's either the legs or the head, just because I'm afraid someone's going to catch my kick and take me down off of it. You know, someone that's a good grappler and you're afraid to get taken down, you just got to set your kicks up. You got to set them up with punches. Too many fighters will just go into a combination and kick first, and that's how you get taken down. But if you set it up with punches, it's harder to get taken down off your kick. So that's going to have to be the game plan.
But Nikita is absolutely wild. He has no type of reservations. He goes in, he throws kicks and punches, and that's going to get him in clinches, and that's going to get kicks caught. And I think that gets him subbed. Usually when he gets grounded, he gets finished. And I think that's what happens this weekend. Misha Serkinov at $8,100. He's my very favorite play this weekend. I love him. Gotta have him. I love elite skill sets, and Misha Serkinov has that. This fight is going to finish. Don't buy it. In my opinion, this is my insight. This is my hot take, so to speak. The bar from Roto Grinders. I wouldn't buy into the Nikita Krylov hype. He's been beating up guys that he should beat up. Even Francisco Barrasso took him down 2 times. So Barrasso can do it. Serkinov can do it easy. But that's enough of that fight. Misha Serkinov is he's my favorite fighter outside of Paterno there. We've got Jordan Mean versus Emil Weber-Meek, and this is a strange fight because it's at 170 pounds because Mean retired and this is his first fight back. And Emil Weber-Meek, he's very raw. His last win was over Rousimar Parhas, where it was a typical Parhas fight where either he gets a leg lock or he gets KTFO. So in this spot, I think I'm going to favor Mean to win, but I don't think I want him on my team this weekend. He is the 3rd highest priced fighter on the card. He has not fought a fight in about a year and, about a year, almost 2 years now. It was 2015, January 31st, 2015. So, yeah, Jordan Mean is an excellent candidate to finish here, but Emil Weber-Meek, he looks good enough on the feet to hang with Mean or, stick in there and use his defense and trying to hang. But, yeah, Jordan Mean seems too rich for my blood this weekend against Meek. Meek, he's really raw. I don't know much about him. Maybe he pulls off an upset. He's only $7,200 on a card where a lot of people have a lot of mean. Maybe, well, maybe not. Probably most DraftKings people don't even know who he is. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He's only been doing DraftKings fight for about 2 years. Um, yeah, I think I might fade this fight completely. Ashley, what do you think of this fight? We've got a striker that's got a very rich game. Mean has been in there and went toe to toe with Matt Brown, Thiago Alves. He was winning those fights and then let the fighter come back and beat him. Emil Weber Meek is very raw and is only here because he vanquished Rousimar Juarez. Do you think we should have any Emil Weber Meek this weekend? Do you think we should roster him, or do you think we should be trusting Jordan Mean coming off of retirement? What do you think?
Meek's a dangerous striker. He's got 7 knockouts in his MMA career, but it is his UFC debut, so, the jitters are going to be there, when Jordan, he's already been under the UFC lights. He has more experience, so, anything can happen in MMA. You can get caught, but I'm going to go with Jordan Mean.
Okay. Do you think that Meek is do you think he's because Jordan Mean is strong with his technical game. He beat the tar out of Thiago Alves with a better part of a round and a half before getting caught. He was beating up on Matt Brown before getting caught. I mean, that used to be kind of a trademark of his is we can see he's very skilled and then veteran fighters are fine. He's not very durable though. So Meek is definitely a candidate to kind of outlast Mean and possibly finish the fight. I like Mean a lot more. I don't know how much Meek I'll have because I like a lot of people at the bottom. But yeah, I guess we could say he's in play just because of the layoff and all the uncertainty surrounding Mean this weekend. Next, we're going to go to Tim Kennedy versus Kevin Gastelum at 185 pounds. And I think I sniffed this one out now. I think I sniffed it out and I got Kelvin Gastelum in this one. Tim Kennedy is tough as nails. He's an excellent wrestler. But when he fights people that have a strong wrestling base, Tim Kennedy has usually not won. Um, he fought Yoel Romero. He did not win. Luke Rockhold did not win. Ronaldo Souza did not win. Jason Miller, another loss. Tim Kennedy has a lot of quality wins. He beat Roger Gracie. He's a hell of a grappler. Hell, he beat Robbie Lawler, but I think that was like Robbie Lawler before the steroids. Not that Robbie Lawler took steroids, but Robbie Lawler has existed in about 3 forms in his career, and that was not championship Lawler back then. Um, Tim Kennedy is a hell of a fighter. He's super tough, but Gastelum is the much better striker here, and he's a good, very good wrestler too. And I don't think Tim Kennedy, coming off a 2-year layoff, is going to come out here. He's definitely not going to outstrike Gastelum. That's never been a strong point. Maybe he's gotten better with his striking, but this far into his career, I think he is who he is. So he's going to have to out wrestle Gastelum, and Gastelum's really good with the wrestling. I've got Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum's only $7,900 this weekend, and he feels like what's going to open up everything else on the card for me. I love him. Ashley, what do you think?
Um, you know, Gaslam, he's never lost at middleweight, so I think it's good that Dana White banned him from welterweight. He's making him fight at middleweight. I think that's where he belongs. Tim Kennedy hasn't fought since September 2014, so that's a long time. Ring rust could play a factor. That's way more than a year. So I'm a huge Tim Kennedy fan. With his military background and everything he believes in and preaches. I'm a big fan of him, but I'm gonna have to go with Kelvin.
Yeah, yeah. Tim Kennedy is not very effective when people put pressure on him and make him back up. He's not very comfortable as a striker at all. He's tough and he's strong and athletic. But Kelvin Gastelum likes to put the pressure on people. And unlike in most of probably the fights that he'll have to take at middleweight, he's not at a significant height or reach disadvantage here. I believe him and Tim Kennedy are about the same height, or he might even have the height and reach advantage here. I think that's extraordinarily interesting. Kevin Gastelum's pressure should be able to destroy Tim Kennedy's striking offense, and I don't think Tim Kennedy is a good enough wrestler. I mean, if Tyrone Woodley couldn't take couldn't take Kelvin Gastelum down. I really don't see, or Johnny Hendricks. Those are two. That's one Big 12 champion, like a Big 12 third place or runner up or something like that. If these top flight Division One wrestlers couldn't do it, how is Tim Kennedy going to do it after a 2-year layoff? I don't see it. So Kelvin Gastelum at 7,900 is one of my favorite plays on the board. Tim Kennedy at 8,300. I'm not going to have any of him at all. I'm just discounting him completely. Um, Going on to our next fight here. What do we have? What do we have? Tapology. What do we have? We've got Cub Swanson versus Du Hoy Choi at 145 pounds. Du Ho Choi has finished everybody he's faced in the first round. He's a killer. But I see one chink in the armor. His wrestling. Will Cub Swanson choose to try and exploit the hole in Du Ho Choi's game? He was able to take Kawajiri down in the last fight. He's a boxer that has a good enough, capable defense where I think that he can kind of survive the power of Choi. Where people get in trouble with Choi is they choose to exchange, and watching his fight with Tiago Tavares, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He doesn't know any better. Sam Cecilia likes to trade with people. That's not intelligent. That's a perfect fight for Choi. And Juan Manuel Puig, I don't even know if he's really a high-level UFC quality fighter. This is the best fighter Choi has ever fought. This is a perfect matchup because what does Cub Swanson like to do? He likes to stick and he likes to move. So he's going to be in there with Choi this weekend. If Choi hits you, it seems like you're finished. I'm picking Choi to win the fight. I don't know if he finishes the fight, though. That's it. But if he doesn't finish, didn't Cub Swanson probably take him down and control the action? Ashley, what do you think about this fight? Oh, and Choi is he's very expensive this weekend. He is 8,900 and he averages 105.3 fantasy points per game or fantasy points per fight. Usually, if you want to get a good beat on ownership for the weekend, look at the fantasy points per game. That's the secret. That's going to tell you who everybody has. And just doing the fantasy points per game high to low right now, Misha Serkinov has the most. Du Ho Choi has the second. And Sago and Krylov come in third and fourth, down to 35th. Those are going to be 5 of your most high-owned fighters on the weekend. Ashley, what do you think about the fight?
I'm going to have to give it to Choi. He's knocking everyone out in the first round. And, even if he doesn't, knock out Cub in the first round, I think he's going to catch him in the second or third. I mean, eventually, I don't think Cub Swanson's wrestling and, is going to be good enough to be able to stop Choi.
Okay. I kind of feel the same way. I don't know if he'll knock Cub out, but I think Kawajiri dropped Cub. So if Kawajiri dropped Cub, there's a good chance that our boy Du Ho Choi is gonna put you away pretty good. He's in play for me at a moderate type of clip. I'm not gonna have all the Du Ho Choi to take a roto grinder statement. I'm not gonna load up on him, put him in every lineup. I have enough of them though. I want to have my exposure. I like Choi this weekend, but do I like him more than Max Holloway? I don't know. But yeah, I'd say we get some Du Ho Choi going, and maybe if you got enough entries and enough money, get a little Cub Swanson going too. I like Cub's potential to possibly win this fight. He's a gritty bet. You never can count out gritty bets, especially when the hot prospect has a certain vulnerability. So we're on to our next fight here at 170 pounds. We got Donald, revitalized Cowboy Cerrone at 170 pounds versus Matt the Mortal Brown. Matt Brown is one of my favorite fighters. Why is that? He's tough. He's down in the first round. He's coming back to beat you up in the second or third. You can never count him out. You got to kill him to stop him. Jake Ellenberger pretty much killed him in the last fight. Donald Cerrone is the highest priced fighter on this card at $9,300. I kind of wish Jake Ellenberger didn't win that last fight because I'd have a lot more Cerrone. But that price is kind of keeping me off of him the way I'd like to be on him. Ashley, do you think Matt Brown has any chance at pulling off the upset with how great Cerrone looks and how hurtable Matt Brown has been to the body historically.
You know, Matt Brown's, he's lost 4 of his last 5 fights, so they're throwing him a pretty tough fight against Cerrone, considering he hasn't been doing well, since July 2014. He's kind of been on a losing streak. I see Cerrone taking this, because even if Brown's wrestling I think's a little better, but even if he gets the takedown, Cerrone's finished a lot of his fights via submission. So I give this fight to Cerrone. I think he's gonna finish Brown, maybe second, third round submission.
I agree, but at this price, Ashley, I don't know how much of Cerrone I can have this weekend. He's too. I like Joy Holloway. I can't have Joy Holloway. I can't have all my GPPs. You probably can plug them. But which I don't think is the GPPs. He's too expensive, but he should kill a lot of lineups in that everybody's going to want him because everybody knows his name. Next, we've got our main event of the evening. It's Max Holloway versus Anthony Pettis for the. Is this the interim strap or is this the new 145-pound champion?
I believe it's the interim, isn't it?
Yeah, but they stripped Conor McGregor, so I mean, this is the champ right here. So yeah, so this should be the champ right here. Max Holloway versus Anthony Pettis. I'm all the way in on Max Holloway. I'm all the way out on Anthony Pettis. Anthony Pettis is going through a championship slump. He's been at the top of the game for a lot of years now, and when fighters are champions for a long time, that means more footage, more analysis, more conversation. And when people are talking about you a lot, they're bound to find a hole in your game. And everybody's figure Pettis out, put pressure on him, and wrestle him. And consistently, we have seen that formula work. It was working for Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is kind of a head case, and even though he's an exceptional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, he has his own hold-ups with fighting in tough fights. It worked for, Edson Barboza just picked him apart on the feet. He was the better technical striker. It worked for Eddie Alvarez. It worked for Rafael dos Anjos. I think Max Holloway is as good or better than all those aforementioned fighters. At $8,800, that's too damn cheap for Max Holloway this weekend. He should be priced higher. Pettis is $7,400. But I think this fight comes down to how much you think Pettis can keep this on the feet, actually. Or because if he's at $7,400 and he can keep it standing, he could end up paying off value, even in a loss. Remember, a point is every 2 significant strikes. But I think that Max Holloway has proven to be intelligent. He puts the pressure on. He's got the wrestling. I think this is his fight. I want all Max Holloway. I'm all in on Max Holloway this weekend. He's tough as nails. He's from Hawaii. I love the Hawaii fighting spirit. BJ Penn, Wesley Cabbage Correa, going old school. You got to love Hawaii fighters. Ashley Cummins, what do you think?
I think Holloway has the better striking, and Holloway's known for his takedown defense. He is one of the best takedown defenses in the UFC. When Pettis is more known for his jiu-jitsu. So, I mean, I think Holloway's going to take this by decision.
Okay, you buy decision. So you don't think this one finishes? You don't think Holloway gets him out of there within the distance?
Yeah, I think it's going to go to judge's decision, but I think it would be unanimous. I don't think it's going to be a close fight.
And do you think Holloway will have to use his wrestling in order to win this fight? Because takedowns equals points. And if he can land a takedown every round and land passes and stuff, Pettis is pretty gosh darn good off his back. So I don't know how many passes and whatnot he can land. But that's a lot of points in addition to his significant strikes. And Pettis, I mean, he's not only been in bad form in the octagon, he's gotten his cars burned up a couple times. I think he's selling yayo out there in Milwaukee. I don't know. He's got into it with the gangsters. I don't know what's going on with Pettis. With Pettis, you better get out the D game or whatever crime you're doing, man. But his head is everywhere right now. I don't. Yeah. I mean, what if you can visualize the way that this wins, that this ends? How do you visualize it happening? Do you visualize Holloway outstriking Pettis for 5 rounds, or mix of strikes and takedowns? What's your visualization for the fight?
I think Holloway is just going to outstrike him every round. I think Pettis is going to be shooting for takedowns, but I think Holloway is going to stuff all of his takedowns and keep it standing and just beat him up standing.
Really? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I would think that he have to use his wrestling and standing to do it. But yeah, I think Max Holloway can win this within the distance. Pettis is, it's not that he's washed up, it's just that everybody knows who he is. And when you've done all the crazy stuff in the world, you can't surprise people even if you jump off the cage and try and kick somebody in the head anymore.
Yeah.
So the book is out on Pettis. He's been in the game too long, and it's hard for champions to stay at the top of that game when everybody's got their eyes on you and they're targeting you and they're analyzing you. So yeah, Max Holloway is my favorite play on the board. Um, Ashley, do you have? That's it for tonight. We're done with the UFC 206 podcast. Do you have a Twitter or anything people can check you out at? A Facebook page people can like? Any way people can talk to you? Shout out to your fans. This is your time right now.
Yeah, I have a Facebook fan page. It's just under Ashley Smashley Cummins. My fight name's Smashley. I have a Twitter and Instagram. They're both at Smashley MMA. So look me up on the social media sites and follow along with my career. Hopefully, I'll have a fight announcement soon.
And I'm rooting for you. I hope those guys and girls over in Victor, is the head booker a guy or a girl? Who books the fights over there?
Caitlin Young, she's a female.
Caitlin. Did Caitlin used to fight?
Yeah, she is a fought for Invicta. She's retired from MMA, but she's still active in pro Muay Thai.
Really? Okay, well, Caitlin, get on the ball. Get down with the Muay Thai fights and get Ashley a fight, man. And all the people that watch this podcast this week, from Roto Grinders, make sure we retweet Ashley's attempt to get Invicta, to get her a fight. Uh, every voice matters. Invicta doesn't have as big of a pool of fans as the UFC. If 20, 30, 40 of us get together and say, we want to see Ashley Cummins fight, I bet you we can get her a fight. So once again, my name is Lil Rod Steppen D. Well, Lil Rod Steppen. That's my username on FanDuel, on DraftKings, on YouTube. It's Lil Rod Steppen DFS, which that's the channel you're on now. On Twitter, it's Lil Rod Steppen DFS. You can check me out there. This has been the MMA podcast, and we'll be back next week for another edition. I don't know which card, but I'll definitely be back. We'll be back with a new fighter. Maybe we'll bring Ashley back sometime in the future. Ashley, one day, would you like to come back and come on the show?
Yeah, definitely.
St. Louis style fighter. That's what we gotta like. They do it. They don't know Ashley. St. Louis, this is the toughest city in America. We've got the toughest fighters. We got the most heart. So yeah. Till next time, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the MMA podcast, MMA Edge podcast. You can check me out, my blogs at least, on rotogrinders.com. That's the word around the Chevy in the parking lot. On themmaedge.com, my top fantasy value place, and the mecca of MMA websites, the underground, mixedmartialarts.com. Check out my top value plays on there too. I'm on there as well. See you guys next week or next card. It's good talking to you guys. Also, if you check my Twitter, I've got a breakdown of UFC 102. This should be going up Friday morning. So if you can get to this in time, you can get a breakdown of all the fights for tomorrow night before this card on Saturday. We've got a doubleheader this weekend. And check out, keep on my Twitter feed for all the stuff I'm producing, all the podcasts on. Love you guys. Hope you guys will follow all my social media mediums. Also, I'm on the Roto Grinders. There's a premium package through Brett Appley. It's great. All the top experts, mixed martial arts players, top-ranked players, me, Sun Tzu, Brett Appley. We're breaking the fighters every week. We're giving you our opinions. We're giving you breakdowns. This is an MMA private chat. Sign up for it. It's only $5 a week. It's well worth it, I'm telling you. It's great information, and the guys from our group, it's like 20, 30, and 40 of us now. We keep growing. I don't even know how many of it is of us now, but we're growing every week, and we're strong in there. Get in that MMA premium section of Roto Grinders right now. So thank you guys, and till next week. Peace out.